Finally, after a long-standing offense in central Idaho, PETA finally puts out a statement calling for change. Also, Disney fans totally lose it over the newly announced live action of Little Mermaid. Starbucks kicks cops out of their store on the 4th of July, and finally, very much against my will, we are going to deconstruct the very popular song Old Town Road. My name is Lisa Steele. This is Deconstructing the Culture. Chickens. They're friends for some people and dinner for others, sometimes both. In an article from the Idaho Statesman, we go over the most outrageous story of the week. And I know none of you have heard of this, but trust me, it's important. Now, what happened is the animal rights activist group PETA, well, they decided that Treasure Valley in Idaho, actually a place I used to live, go Treasure Valley, they reacted against the most terrible animal cruelty. You want to know what it was? Well, they sent out a news release on Wednesday alerting the Idaho media that basically there's this street and it's very offensive and it's hurting animals' feelings right and left, but most especially chickens. It's called Chicken Dinner Road. You heard me. It's called Chicken Dinner Road. I laughed so hard the first time. I almost wish that I could just have read it the first time with you because I am no stranger to poorly named roads. In fact, I used to live in a teeny tiny town on the border of Idaho and Utah, and the road I lived on was in fact named, even on Google, it was named Dirty Head Road. So I'm not a stranger to poorly named roads, but Chicken Dinner Road is far above and beyond way better than Dirty Head Road. So I don't know what they're complaining about, but essentially they wrote in their release, quote, just like dogs, cats, and human beings, chickens feel pain and fear and value their own lives, unquote. So essentially, she wants the mayor to change the name of the road to, quote, one that celebrates chickens as individuals, not as beings to kill, chop up, and label as dinner. Ooh, I kid you not. She doesn't want chickens being labeled as dinner, even though literally millions of people eat chickens as dinner. And also, I must say, I do like chickens as pets. In fact, for a long time when I lived in Utah/Idaho, we had this chicken both places. We named her Chicken Linda, and Linda was the best. She was not afraid of humans. She would just come up right next to you. If you accidentally left the backyard screen door open, Linda would just waddle her little chicken butt inside and come and just hang out next to me in the sunroom. Like, I love chickens as pets, but I also think they're very tasty and make excellent dinners. So hence Chicken Dinner Road. Now, apparently, I looked this up. There are a lot of rumors and myths as how this road even got this name. But basically what it comes down to is there was some kind of government official who had to go on this badly paved road to go get a famous chicken dinner made by a lady named Laura Lamb. So there you go. We're like abusing animal names right and left. Laura Lamb made a fabulous chicken dinner, and this guy apparently paved the road, and then some people named it Chicken Dinner Road. So in the letter dated July 3rd, Riemann says she's not trying to, quote, ruffle any feathers, unquote, adding in words that words have power and they have the power to change lives. But also she says that changing the name of Chicken Dinner Road would show compassion to chickens and respect for other species. She also said PETA would help for replacing the sign because, you know, all the chickens all over the world are really offended by this, and we should totally spend taxpayer money and apparently PETA's money to change the name of this road. All right, so I want to know actually in the comments, if you're watching this on YouTube, I want you to tell me which road would you rather live on, Dirty Head Road or Chicken Dinner Road? I'm voting for Chicken Dinner Road, just to be perfectly clear, but Dirty Head Road is also, you know, a unique name. All right, so then also speaking of the craziness of 2019, let's talk about the 4th of July. Hope you had a great one. Mine was pretty low-key. We're actually packing. My husband and I are hopefully moving if everything goes well, and So it was kind of busy for me, but we watched some fireworks and hung out in our Florida pool. It was pretty great. But it wasn't great for everyone. Unfortunately, there was some very strong disrespect going on for our men of blue in a specific Starbucks. So essentially, these police officers were asked to either move out of sight of a customer or leave after this customer complained that they did not feel safe. Now, I think that this was very, very poorly handled. I'm not going to say all of Starbucks stands for this. I'm sure that Starbucks doesn't in general, but this particular Starbucks employee who, after talking to the customer, went up to the gentleman and said, "Can you move out of sight or leave the store?" I think it was very poorly handled. You don't do that for anyone, and especially not to our police officers who are literally there to make you more safe, who are literally caring and putting their lives on the line to make you feel more safe, and to actually not make just to make you feel more safe, but to actually make you safe. If your house is being robbed, you're going to call 911 and ask for those same men to come to your house and save your little butt. But you're not going to be like, "Oh, I can't call the police because the police will make me feel less safe." No, you're calling them because they're going to make you safe. So this person complaining their whiny little butt to Starbucks that these police officers make them feel unsafe, they're still going to call 911 in their emergency. So don't even. Anyways, it was very poorly handled. On Twitter, the Tempe Officers Association, a police union, wrote about the incident on Friday and included a mock image of the Starbucks logo that showed a hand pouring out a cup of coffee with the words "Dump Starbucks" circling the image. They said, quote, "Don't appreciate at Starbucks asking our Tempe cops to leave your establishment on the 4th of July 2019. Several of those cops are veterans who fought for this country. #0respect. They also put out later in a statement, 6 Tempe police officers stopped by the Starbucks at Scottsdale Road in McHelps for coffee. The officers paid for their drinks and stood together having a cup of coffee before their long 4th of July shift. They were approached by a barista who knew one of the officers by name because he is a regular at that location. The barista said that the customer did not feel safe because of the police presence. The barista asked the officers to move out of the customer's line of sight or to leave. Side note, why didn't the customer just leave? You feel so unsafe, you leave. Your feelings don't get to affect who is in a store with you. If you don't like it, leave. But you don't get to enforce your will on others because your feelings, you don't feel good about it. Seriously, it's literally the most ridiculous thing I've heard this week. Disappointed the officers did in fact leave. I probably would have too. I'd be like, what the heck? We're here to make your city safer and you're telling us to leave because you don't feel safe? It's just rude. It's just so rude and very, very tasteless on that employee's side. Anyways, continue with the statement. This treatment of public safety workers could not be more disheartening. While the barista was polite, making such a request was at all offensive, agreed. Unfortunately, such treatment has become all too common in 2019. They are exactly right. And that is unfortunate. And I hope that there is some kind of public apology from the Starbucks, because that is not a way to treat the men and women in uniform who protect your butts. Before I continue on, please stop to leave a 5-star review. If you have any criticisms, there was one person who left like a 4-star review because they said I use filler words, specifically the word literally, and I literally do like that word. So I will literally probably use it a lot. But if you do have critiques like that, please email me, send me any thoughts, comments, reviews, any critical comments you may have or suggestions for the show. I'd really appreciate if you just send that to me in an email, conservativebabes@gmail.com. I do indeed reply to almost all my email. It takes sometimes a little while, unless it's like extraordinarily stupid or offensive, then I probably won't reply to it. But if it has like honest criticism, then please feel free to reach out anytime and I will reply eventually. Now, after you've left a review, good, thank you. Let's talk about the Little Mermaid. So the internet is losing their mind over the Little Mermaid. First of all, I just want to state I think these live action remakes are super ridiculous, and I haven't watched like the last 3. I think there was like Aladdin and Dumbo and whatever. I think the last live action I actually did watch was probably whichever one came out later, Cinderella or Beauty and the Beast. But for the most part, it's just Disney trying to make money off of your good memories of your childhood. Like, legitimately, they just ran out of good ideas, and they're like, hey, what if we totally monopolize and make tons of money off of people's feel-good memories about the movies that they watched when they were younger, but now this new generation is totally used to better graphics, so they're not watching these movies. Let's make totally brand new live actions and make tons of money because everyone will want to come see it for feel-good reasons. So I don't actually watch these anyways, but the reactions to this particular one were too good, and I just had to share with you. So the woman being cast as the Little Mermaid, Ariel, her name is Halle Bailey. She is looks, just by glancing at her photo, she is an ethnically Black woman, and this is clearly, very clearly, racism against mermaids. I mean, can you believe it? They are casting a Black woman instead of a mermaid. Like, I don't even care if she's Black. They shouldn't even cast a human, because don't you know, from Hollywood, you can't be a straight person playing a gay person. You have to get an actual gay person. Well, guess what? Newsflash, Disney, you can't just be putting humans into mermaid spots. You're discriminating against the mermaids. They have feelings too, and you are misrepresenting the mermaids of this world by not accurately putting an actual mermaid there. Now, I do want to preface, if it helps, it makes it easier for you, Disney, this person doesn't have to biologically be a mermaid. It just has to be someone who identifies as a mermaid. The same way nowadays, you don't have to biologically be a woman to use the women's bathroom. You just need to identify as a woman. Same thing works for a mermaid. I am not discriminating against people who identify as mermaids. If they identify as mermaids, they're clearly mermaids, so you can totally hire someone who identifies as a mermaid for the role of Ariel. I approve of that. Okay, no, in all seriousness, nobody actually really cares that a Black woman is being cast for Ariel, who is clearly a white woman with flaming red hair, because nobody's actually going to watch this. Nobody cares. It's a freaking magical mermaid thing. But the internet decided to make it a big deal and call anyone who pointed out that historically the fictional character of Ariel is a white female with red hair. They're pointing out, how does that work for you to have a Black female with not red hair in this position as Ariel? And it's just kind of a common sense, like, I don't really understand how that works out. But anyone who points that out is being called a racist. Now, what I don't understand is it's basically like them making a live action of Tiana, the Princess and the Frog movie, and casting Tiana as a white female instead, or as an Asian person, doesn't matter. It's really like people would be throwing a fit, huge fit on the left if you decided to cast Tiana from the Princess and the Frog as a white female. Not because we're racist, but because we would like to stay true to the actual storyline that you have created and made so much money on. Also, it's going to be confusing. They sell tons of merchandise with like shirts and Ariel dolls and Ariel everything, and they've been selling it as a white female with red hair. How are they going to when they come out with the live action, how are they going to tell their small fans who actually believe that mermaids exist, oh, Little Mermaid, she identifies differently, and so sometimes she's Black, sometimes she's white. It's like, I don't understand how they're going to make that work merchandise-wise. Not that I really care. Like I said, my kids probably won't watch The Little Mermaid for the same reason why my mother didn't let me watch The Little Mermaid, and I watched it at like an aunt's house or something, so I like watched it as a kid, but I wasn't allowed to watch it at home because my mom told me that The Little Mermaid was a bratty, like 16-year-old who runs away because, Daddy, I love him, and she's rebellious and disrespectful to her father. So I wasn't allowed to watch that because Ariel was a bad role model, which I watch it later as an adult and I'm like, oh my gosh, she was right. I mean, I think this about a lot of things now. I look back, I'm like, oh my gosh, my mom was right, especially about The Little Mermaid. She is a bratty teenager who runs after a boy and is very disrespectful to her father. So there you go, Little Mermaid. Also, on a side note, Disney also cast this chick named Aquafina as the seagull in Little Mermaid. Now, Aquafina is that chick who is in Crazy Rich Asians. She plays the kind of outlandish, like big personality friend. Again, if we're complaining about roles, the seagull is clearly a boy in the really old animated version. But then again, I don't really care. It's a seagull, and talking seagulls don't actually exist, and I'm not going to watch this movie. But if we're going to point out inconsistencies, that's another one. And also, this entire thing is literally just Disney showing how diversified they are. So there you go. Now, let's talk about this week's book. This week's book actually is really important to me. Now, this book is not going to be for everyone, and if this is too much for you, then it's totally okay, but I do highly recommend this book. It's very short. I read it in one day. It's about like this thick. If you're watching on YouTube, it's like an inch thick or so. And it's called The Walls Are Talking, Former Abortion Clinic Workers Tell Their Stories. It's by Abby Johnson. Abby Johnson is also the author of Unplanned, that was recently made into a movie this year. And this book made me cry more than once. I also cried in Unplanned, but this book really it hit home. It was all written in the first person because they didn't want to identify the women who were telling these stories for fear of serious issues or, violence or threats against these women. But really, really heartbreaking. A little bit about it is these stories are difficult to read because abortion is an act of violence, harming not only the obvious victim, the unborn child, but also the mother, the father, the doctor, and everyone else involved. But these stories also offer hope, for they show that anyone, no matter what part or person they played in an abortion, can start anew and can make amends for past mistakes. They demonstrate that the first step on the journey is telling the truth, and that these courageous individuals do so in these pages. One of the stories that I want to bring to your attention has actually been circling on the internet lately, and if you haven't heard it, I'm just going to encourage you to, again, read this book. But one of the stories that really just gives you chills reading it is there's a woman who goes in for an abortion not once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 9 times. She comes in and has 9 abortions and is very, very flippant, very jovial, very just completely without shame. And on her 9th abortion, she's in the recovery room and she asks the nurse, she's like, actually, I'm just kind of curious. Can I see the clump of cells that you took out of me? And after quite some pressuring, initially she was told no, but after some pressuring, the nurse finally said, okay. She brought over the pieces of the child to this woman. It was her 9th aborted baby. This woman literally went into hysterics, realizing for the very first time that she had been lied to. This was not a clump of cells, it was a child. She completely went into hysteria. They had to drag her into the bathroom to try and muffle her wailing and complete and utter devastation. And it truly, I cried so hard, and it's even hard to retell this right now, but you've got to read this book, because if anything, it's not going to be, maybe you're learning about the horrors of abortion. Maybe that's something you learn from it, but maybe something else you learn is to have compassion. Please have compassion for the men and women who work in the abortion industry, because they are souls and they do sometimes need help coming out of this industry. They are not evil. I hear people all the time, especially on social media, like, oh, all the people who work in the abortion industry deserve to die and go to hell. Well, I would be a little more careful about your language, because they are human beings and they have to deal with the long-term trauma of what they've done as well. Just Abby Johnson's story all by itself is a testament to this. So I strongly recommend you check out this book. Again, it's called The Walls Are Talking, and it's very, very good. Again, short read. You can read it in about a day, but it's truly powerful. All right, now let's talk about this week's song. Now, I have very strongly resisted doing this song because it is so dumb. It is mind-numbingly, ridiculously dumb. But for some reason, it's been in the top charts for weeks now, called Old Town Road by Lil Nas with Billy Ray Cyrus. Truly one of the most dumb songs I have ever listened to or watched or read the lyrics. I literally haven't deconstructed this sooner, even though it's been in the top charts for so long, because I looked at the lyrics and I'm like, there's nothing here to deconstruct. It's just dumb. And then you listen to it and you're like, what is this even about? This is not even pleasant to listen to. Like, I don't understand why it's so catchy. The song sucks. The lyrics suck. So whatever. Here are some of the lyrics. Yeah, I'm going to take my horse down the old town road. I'm going to ride till I can't ride no more. I'm going to take my horse down the old town road. I'm going to ride till I can't ride no more. I got the horse on the back. Horse tack is attached. Hat is matte black. Got the boots that's black to match. Great. You're riding a horse and you like to color coordinate your wardrobe. Black boots, black hat. Yay! Way to go for you. Riding a horse, you gotta whip your Porsche. I been in the valley. You ain't been up off that porch now. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Can't nobody tell me nothing. This is probably not good. You know, if nobody can't tell you nothing, you're probably not going to learn nothing either. Like, seriously, this is your mantra, is nobody can tell you anything. Good luck learning or progressing as a human being. I mean, I should hope somebody should be able to tell you something. Even if it's just your music's not great, but we'll get to that. Let's see. Riding on a tractor, leaning in all my bladder, cheated on my baby. You can go and ask her. I don't think I need to go and ask her. You just told me and freely admitted that you cheated on her, which should be a warning sign. Why are you freely admitting, like, you're proud of this, that you cheated on her? Like, that's generally frowned upon in today's world, and in every world. You don't cheat on your girlfriend. But anyways, continuing. You can go and ask her. My life is a movie. Bull riding and boobies. Okay, that's what your life consists of? Bull riding and boobies. Great. All right. Well, maybe you should add some more. Maybe if you could let somebody tell you something, then maybe your life would consist of more. Cowboy hat from Gucci. I could probably get you a cheaper one, bro. Wrangler hat on my booty. Wrangler on my booty. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Yada, yada. Yeah, I'm going to take my horse down the old town road. I'm going to ride till I can't ride no more. Good for you. This song is mind-numbingly stupid. I don't understand why, America. Why have you made me deconstruct one of the most retarded songs I have ever listened to? Why is this number one? Ugh, whatever. Anyways, now I'm going to take a question, because I keep saying I'm going to take questions and then I keep running out of time. So I've got a couple of minutes here. I'll do it. This is from Andrea. Andrea says, my body, my choice may be scientifically incorrect. Thanks for admitting that. But it represents more than just science. Is it? Okay, let's keep reading. It represents values and morals, and you cannot force a woman to go through 9 months of pregnancy with something one could call a parasite living in your body. First of all, a child is not a parasite. Look up the definition. This is clearly not a parasite. This would be an abuse of human rights. It would be an abuse of human rights to take the child's life, not the other way around, honey. We are responsible over per bodies and get a decision over our own body. For example, when you want to get a medical procedure, the doctor will ask you if you want it or not. There's a difference between a medical procedure and an abortion. A medical procedure, like getting a tooth removed, is fine. That is your choice. It's a part of your body, and it is your body. A child, on the other hand, has its own DNA, its own fingers, its own heart. It is not your body. It is its own body, and if you give it a few months to develop enough, then it can come out of your body and live an independent life of its own. Whereas a tooth getting extracted or a kidney, if you let it grow, it's not going to eventually grow and be able to sustain life on its own. Very big difference. Continuing. There's no chance we should be forcing women to not be able to choose something. It would be as if you lived in a dictatorship where everybody told you what you couldn't do. No. If you're equating thou shalt not murder, or else laws to just say you can't take someone else's life, as a dictatorship, you need to study what a dictatorship is, because we have very basic laws currently on the books that say you can't take or steal something from someone else's home, or just for envy, you can't take something that's not yours. Do we now live in a dictatorship because I'm telling you can't take my front porch chair? Like, seriously, that's what you're going to call a dictatorship? Or else you can't take an independent other human being's life, that's a dictatorship, because I'm telling you, you can't go around killing whoever you want. No, honey, study what a dictatorship is. This is not a dictatorship. This person continues, it's not the duty of another people to decide for the woman what they can or can't do. Actually, it is. When it infringes on another person's life, liberty, pursuit, happiness, then yes, it is the decision of those around to stop that person. Abortion or anything else should never be questioned or taken off as a choice, because that would be violating the human right to choose, such as the thing that's only done in places which encourage dictatorship. Again, you need to learn what a dictatorship is, because violating another person's human rights is not part of your human right. It's like me saying, it's my human right to kill my husband whenever I feel like it, because that's my choice. It's my human right to steal from the grocery store whenever I want, because it's my choice. No, when your human rights stop where someone else's begin. Your rights stop when someone else's rights begin. A child who is conceived, it doesn't even matter, like, let's just take rape and incest off the table, but your actions are your responsibility. And if you are consensually having sex and you have a child, because of that, you have to deal with those consequences. You don't get to murder to escape those consequences. Now, on the rape of incest, I've done lots of podcasts on this in depth, so go check them out. But essentially, I don't believe in rape and incest either, because we don't even give rapists the death penalty. Why would we give an innocent child the death penalty for the sins of the father? It just doesn't make any moral or logical sense. All right, now we're going to end with good in the world. This good in the world is a story that I really like because it features one of my favorite places to eat, Chick-fil-A. No, this is not a sponsored ad from Chick-fil-A, but Chick-fil-A, if you want to pick me up as a person to do ads for you, I will do it all day long. Are you kidding me? I could live off Christian chicken. Anyways, good in the world story. Let's do it. A Chick-fil-A employee is being hailed as a hero after he rushed to help a choking child who had somehow managed to get tangled in his seatbelt. Logan Simmons had been working a shift at the restaurant in Hale County, Georgia, when a distressed mother started calling for help from the drive-thru lane. While the woman was in the driver's seat of her car, her 6-year-old son had gotten the seatbelt wrapped around his neck and his face was quickly losing color. When Logan heard the calls for help through the drive-thru window, he leapt out of the vehicle out of the drive-thru window in Chick-fil-A and rushed to the woman's car. He climbed into the vehicle and used his pocket knife to cut the boy free from his seatbelt. Needless to say, the frantic mother was overwhelmed with gratitude for the teen's intervention. Simmons' mother also expressed pride in her son's heroics when she told WSB-TV, "I'm amazed he didn't panic." As his mother, I would have panicked. I'd be running around going, oh my gosh, what do we do? Logan, on the other hand, said he was just happy he was in the right place at the right time. This is a world where we care about other human beings. This is a world where when someone yells help, the first thing we think is, okay, I'm going to run and jump out a window and save someone else. He didn't gain anything from this. His first instinct was to help his fellow human being who was calling for help. And also, this is also a tribute to pocket knives being awesome. I mean, seriously, what was it? I think it was somewhere in the UK. They just barely, within like the last couple of years, they outlawed like carrying any knives at all. Because don't you know, knives kill people, not human beings. And also spoons make you fat, not you. So pocket knives, they're great. This guy not only had quick thinking, but was able to completely jump into action and take his pocket knife and save this child. That's awesome to me. Anyways, America's great. Chick-fil-A is also great. God bless you. God bless Chick-fil-A, and God bless America.